Hi, I'm Kelly from Kelly J Jewellery and welcome back. This is part 2. Let's get straight into it. So next we're going to weave, and we're going to weave along these 2 wires here. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn to the back. And we're weaving along these 2, and we're weaving from the back because we're going to weave up and then we're going to bend over to the front and we're going to come down. So we want the front of the weave to be exposed here. So we've got to weave our weave from the back so that it ends up on the front. So we need to weave, turn it over, along these 2 wires, and then when the weave gets about halfway up the bail, we're going to bend it over. So we can do twice that length at the moment. So I'll show you the weave. So we'll start with a few wraps around the bottom wire. Slide it all the way down. So we go over the 2 wires, so we come up between, and then we wrap 3 times around that top wire. So we've already gone round once, so I'll just go round another twice. Then we bring the wire underneath and we go around the 2 wires again, and then we wrap around the bottom wire 3 times. So that's our repeat. We wrap around both wires, then we go 3 times around the top wire, then we wrap around both wires, we go 3 wraps around the bottom wire. So I've repeated the weave on that side. Really do need to keep pushing that weave together. I think I've done a few more repeats than I did on that side yet. So what we'll do, these bare wires, we'll just pull them to the back for now. We'll deal with those in a moment. But the weaves, we want to take it back and then we're going to bend it forwards so it comes over sort of this far down. So just above the middle there, it's about there. So if we can bend that weave over like that. Do that for the other one too. So we're going to ignore those bare wires for now, bring it in, push it back a little bit, and then bend it forward and try and get it in line so they come over together at the same kind of height. And then we just want to squeeze them a little bit. That has made it a little bit higher, so I just need to make sure when I squeeze this one it goes to the same height. So I've undone the little bit of weave on this one so that they are both the same kind of height and the weaves finish in the same kind of place there. So now I'm going to take the weaving wire that isn't on the bobbin, because I've still got my bobbin attached to the other side, and I'm going to pass the weaving wire through the middle to the other side, and then holding those weaves against the bail, all I'm going to do is, so the weaving wire that I've passed through, them out a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to add a few repeats to this weave. So I've gone 3 times around the outer wire, and then I'll go around the 2. I need to go around both wires. I've got to do 3 wraps, I'll do 2. 2 wraps around the bottom wire. And then I'm going to pass it back through to the other side. Oh, I don't know why I'm so out of breath. Right, pass it back through to where it originally came from. So going through to that side, I've kind of tried to pull them a bit tight to hold them together. So I've come back through to this side, and I go around both of them. I'm going to add a few repeats, or we can continue moving on this side. So if we just do a couple of repeats, because then I'm going to bring those single wires down and we can join it all together briefly. Oops. And then this weaving wire needs to come down and carry on with that weave. So we bring it under the 2, add that last wrap onto that 1. So now we're weaving down the fronts. I think I want to bring those wires in first. If we can add those wires in, and then, so we need to just let them come across the middle a little bit and then scoop them out. For a sec, let's just have a look at these bare wires at the back. Now we can cut these little tail ends off because they're from the weaves from earlier. Cut those off and press them down. And then these bare wires, because my wires are square, I do love the twisted look with the square wire. So I'm going to twist this. I don't use any fancy tools or anything. If you want to do that, be my guest. I just twist it by hand. So I hold the end with my pliers, and then this end I pull a little bit of tension and I twist. So I'm holding the pliers still and I'm twisting the whole thing around and around, and I'm going to do that for both of those bare wires and I'll show you. So I've twisted both of those wires. I've got the 2 weaving wires coming out the front there too. So what I'm going to do now is with each of these, so it's come out to the side, and I'm going to bring it towards the wire, and I'm going to scoop it over. Now if we look, we've got this point here, we've got the highest point here, then we've got the weaves, then another step down I want these wires. So it's going to come down and it's going to bend to the front, sort of there. So that one needs to be the same height as this one. So it comes over the side to the front, and I want it to be the same height as that one. Like that. So we've got the 2 twisted wires cupping the outside of those weaves. So here, where the weave comes to on this side, so let me just sort my wires out. Got 3 on each side. So here now, we can weave across all 3 to hold that twisted wire in. So we've got our normal 2 wires, and we're going to add the twisted wire into that weave. So we'll go over the 2, coming up between, then we'll go over the twisted wire. Go 3 wraps around the twisted wire. So we're still carrying on that weave a little bit. Come up between the bottom 2. So we're just focusing on the 3 wires. Go around the top 2. Then around the bottom 2. Then we wrap 3 times around the bottom wire. So I'm just incorporating that like little weave into the 3 wires instead of just the 2. And we'll do another repeat of that just to hold it together. And if we do this on the other side as well, we just tie in that top wire in, holding him in place 3 times around that top wire, and then come up between the bottom 2. I hope this makes sense. If I've lost you, if you missed something, if I've missed something, let me know in the comments. So that brings it down to there, and if we do that on that side as well, that'll bring that down to there, and then we can just do a quick weave across all of them to hold them together before they all go out again at the bottom. That's the plan. So far so good. Now do that 3 wire weave across the bottom 3 wires. Just adjust my wire. So I'm now going to weave straight across all 6, doing a very similar kind of weave. So I'm going to use this wire from the top because that's got my bobbin on, so that's the longer one. So I'm going to go straight down over these 3 wires here. Is that right? I think I'm just going to finish off this, because I've finished in the middle. I think I'm just going to finish off this weave to finish like this at the bottom here. Because I'm likely to cut that wire off and I want it to finish. Make sure that all the weaves are really pushed up, because these should be next to each other. Right. So then we're going to carry on across all 6 wires. So let's go. So for this last little section here of the bail, I want the wires to come over that middle section. So I'm going to bring it over the 3rd wire. Then I'm going to go over the 2 wires, coming up between, over the top, the bottom wire, oh dear, over the bottom wire, and I'm going to wrap a few times. I'll wrap 3 times. Come up between those 2nd and 3rd wire, and we'll go around the 2. And then I'll come up between the middle. I'm going to wrap around the 2nd and 3rd wire, coming up in between those 2. And then I'm going to go straight over the middle. So I'm going over the 4th wire. Going over the 2, come up between, so 4, 5, 6, so I've gone over 4 and 5 and I've come up between, go over the top 2, come up between, 3 times around the top wire, come up between that 4th and 5th again, go around the top 2, come up between the 3rd and 4th, so I've come up the middle, go around the 3rd and 4th, we can come over the middle. No, I'm not going to come over the middle, I'm going to go underneath, because we can just weave straight across these now we've come down. Our wires are all nice and tight together now. We'll just do a couple of repeats over the whole thing. So going around 2 wires. All the way down, so I've gone around the middle 2, go around the second and third, go around the bottom 2, 3 times around the bottom wire. So I'm kind of trying to keep that little weave repeat in there, even though it's all going a bit crazy now. Then we'll go all the way up, so over the second, come up between, over the third, over the fourth, come up between, over the fifth, over the top wire, so you've wrapped over 2 all the way up. Push it down, around the top wire 3 times. And we'll come all the way down, and we'll do that just a couple of more times. That repeat over the whole thing. So we did a few more repeats of that weave across all of the wires. So next we're going to go back to weaving across 2, and we're going to just weave across the 2, and then we're going to bring the weave over the side. So take your weaving wire. We need to get to the 2 wires, so you can go up the weave as if you were weaving to get to the top there. And we do the same weave as before. So 3 wraps around the top wire. A wrap around the 2, and then 3 wraps around that bottom wire. And we'll weave that. I'm going to bring it down where this join is here from the back. We've got to go above that, so we're just going to scoop out above that join there. So I've added weave repeats to that weave. Really do keep pushing them together as you go, and then that weave goes behind the twisted wire and out. Scoop it out to the side there. So I'm going to stop there and leave that there, and we'll go to the other 2. So take your other piece of weaving wire. There's enough here, I think. I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to use that to do the same amount of weave repeats down that side to come off above that join on that side, so it's the same length as this one. So I've added the repeats to that side. That's our Gracie snoring. Push it all down, pull it all down. Then that goes behind. Let me just cut that a little bit off. That goes behind there and out to go across on that side. So we've got this pretty shape. And then just above those joins is where it's going to go over the sides. So this twisted wire is going to go across just a little bit higher like that. So we need to do the same on this side. So hold in the middle. You've got to try and match the heights. And then this one, I'll try and match the height again to the other side. So it kind of comes in and then it comes out. About right, a bit lower. and then those can go over the sides. So making sure it is above that join there, and I'll explain why in a moment. Bring those wires across the back. Looking more done now, not much left to do. So I'm happy with those scoops of the weaves and that. Let's attach this side first and then we'll come back and bend those over so we haven't got too many wires. So looking at this side first, here we can just cut that now, that's really short anyway. Don't forget to press down your little foot ends, and then holding it down so it's definitely nice and tight in place, we're going to attach each wire to this wire. So we're just going to wrap them around this wire here at the back, keeping it nice and simple. So we can cut them off about there, and then holding that weave in place there, we'll take each wire around that wire there. Sort of lifted it up a little bit and we'll just wriggle it in there. Go on. So every time you tighten up a wire at the back, it does tend to move around. So check the position and then go back before you finish it off there. But yeah, wrap the two, where's my round nose gone? So we're going to wrap the two wires around and then hold the top one in place and wrap that one around too. Keep checking the shape. You can even squeeze it over the sides a little bit so it grips a bit better. I've wrapped all three around there loosely just while I double check the shape. And then I'm going to take them around again. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to pull the wires anymore. I'm going to squeeze them around, and that way it won't adjust the shape on the front. So get them around loosely, check the shape, and then squeeze them around into place. We can cut off the excess and then press those little ends down. So I attached those other three wires, tightened it all up, tried to get it all as level and straight as I can. And there we have my first pendant without any curls, but there is, if you look to the back, we've got a few. So that's the end of part 2 and we've finished. I've oxidised mine. If you'd like help oxidising yours, I've done videos on oxidising and aftercare. I'll put links in the description below. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this tutorial easy to follow, and I will see you all very soon with the next one. Bye for now. Bye.